My name is Emily Johnson. I've been married for 3 years. I come from a pretty wealthy family, while my husband's family is more middle class. He seems to feel inferior because of the financial gap in our marriage and always tells me he'll cherish me for a lifetime. Thanks to him, every day is blissful. Moreover, my husband cares deeply for my parents and even suggests living with them. But I've been holding off, thinking maybe after we have kids. Then, let's at least visit your folks often. They raised such a wonderful woman, after all. We need to give them some peace of mind. With such a kind and considerate husband, I often think I made the right choice in marrying him. But then, out of the blue, a totally unexpected divorce drama erupted. And it happened while we were at my parents' house. Why a divorce? I'm sorry, but I want us to split up, it can't be helped. Why? What did I do wrong? Was it because I made you shop with my mom? Or because I always asked you to drive when she needed it? Or was it because we always ate her cooking when we're at her house? No, none of those are the reasons. I actually enjoyed going out with your mom. I'd go anywhere with her. Then why? Why bring this up while we're at my parents' house? Is there something about me you don't like? Well, I have my complaints. That's natural when two people live together. What then? I've always been grateful to you. All my friends say how rare it is for a guy to get along so well with his wife's parents, and I've been so thankful for that. That's nice of you, thanks. It's not just thanks. I don't understand why. There was never a sign of you cheating or anything. Did you fall for someone else? Even as I said it, I knew it didn't make sense. He was sometimes late from work, but nothing excessive. He never had to work on weekends. No overnight business trips. No signs of another woman at all. If anything, the only thing was his phone being locked, but doesn't everyone do that? What's the reason? I was panicking, repeating why and how over and over. This kind of talk should happen at home, just the two of us. Yet, he brought it up in front of my parents. I can only imagine what they must be thinking. Probably feeling sorry for me and hurting inside. But it seems I was wrong. I want a divorce too. Shockingly, my mom had filed for divorce as well. What? What's happening? My mind was beyond panicked, just blank. It felt like the life I had built was crumbling down. What's going on? In contrast to me, my father was calm. He said it with a quiet voice and an expressionless face. It can't be helped, dear. After all, you've fallen for someone else. What? Actually, I've fallen for someone too. Yikes! What a strange noise you're making, such a silly girl. Who is she, this woman, where's she from? She's the woman right in front of you. Do you mean your mom? No way! Dad, what are you saying? That can't be true. That's right. No way! My heart's gonna stop. This is like a double affair. Well, it was an affair, but if we get married, it won't be anymore. What are you saying? What are you saying? What are you saying? Do you think I can accept this? Oh, come on, we're not the age to ask for permission anymore. He's an adult, I'm an adult. But there was no sign of you two having an affair. We got along quite well, actually. It's weird that you didn't notice. We always went shopping together, and after that, we always went to a hotel. That's why I always came home late, right? Huh? But when I said you were late, you'd say you went to 5 or 6 places. Yeah, including the hotel. So I was being lied to. No, it's not a lie. The number of places is right. Maybe you didn't notice because you lost love for me, didn't feel the crisis. In contrast, Ashley always got jealous when she saw us getting along. Gross. Ashley, don't you feel sorry for Emily? I can't help it, I fell in love. Besides, I've heard a lot of complaints about Emily from Steve. As I listened, my sympathy turned into love. My head went blank, and my calm father and I were bombarded with whatever they wanted to say, eventually being pressured to sign the divorce papers. Fine, I'll divorce. What about you, Dad? Yeah, divorce. He took the pen and signed the divorce papers. Finally, let's be together now, they seemed happy for some reason. After signing the divorce papers, I felt burned out and could only say, "What is this, a nightmare?" However, my voice didn't seem to reach the two of them, who were gleefully excited. Shall we have some coffee then? Whether it was cheerful ignorance or selfishness. My mother cheerfully went to the kitchen to make coffee. Following her was Steve, my husband, whom I had just divorced. This can't be happening. Why did it turn out like this? It's okay. I have a plan. My father murmured, looking down, seemingly deep in thought. Here you go, coffee. The last one I'll make for you. From now on, make it just for me. Sure, of course. Their conversation was just creepy. Is this really the man who was my husband until just moments ago, and the woman who was my mother? Well, she might still be my mother, but I can't even acknowledge her anymore. As I drank my coffee, I began to voice the doubts that were swelling inside me. Mom, you're 53, right? Why bring that up all of a sudden? And Steve is 30. Yeah, that's right. That's a 23-year age difference. So what? When you fall in love, age doesn't matter. Don't talk nonsense. That's right, a 23-year age gap is nothing. I can't believe this. Look at Ashley. She doesn't look her age, does she? More feminine and beautiful than you. Plus, she's got the charm of a mature woman. No man could resist falling for her. What a compliment. Compared to you, you're flat-chested, don't wear makeup, and are rough around the edges. You don't have a feminine bone in your body. I've never met such a beautiful woman before. I couldn't understand how he could say such things. Maybe Steve's eyesight has gotten worse. Because of my father's wealth, Ashley had the money and time to indulge in beauty treatments. Anyone would look better if they did that. But without makeup, her face is full of blemishes. It's not about being beautiful with makeup, it's about not being seen without it. Doesn't he understand that? Or, is this just jealousy because my husband was taken away? You wouldn't understand. Yeah, whatever. Thanks for complimenting my mother. So, when did this all start? Not long after you got married and Steve started visiting our home, right? Yeah, I asked her to go out first. At first, I really thought I couldn't do something like stealing my daughter's husband, since he was my son-in-law. But as I kept hearing him complain about you, I started to feel sympathy for him. As I cared more, that sympathy turned into love. I fell in love the first time I met her. Couldn't believe such a beautiful woman existed. I can't believe this. Stealing your daughter's husband, and a husband taking his wife's mother. Unbelievable. Truth is stranger than fiction, they say, and this is exactly that. Mom, didn't you love Dad? I never thought you'd have an affair. Love? Oh dear, after being married so long, it's just inertia. We were just like air to each other, neither here nor there. That's horrible. Your dad probably felt the same, that's why he signed the divorce papers without a fuss. Is that true, Dad? I tried to engage my father in the conversation, but he seemed lost in thought and didn't respond. See, he doesn't even answer when you talk to him. Boring, isn't it? Weren't you and Dad in a big romance? To be honest, it was for the money. What? I really didn't want to hear this kind of revelation at my age. Well, your dad was originally a wealthy guy, a real rich kid. As for me, I wasn't poor, but I certainly wasn't well off. That's why I was determined to marry someone wealthy. And you managed to make that dream come true? It took effort. I researched a lot when job hunting. What did you research? I interviewed at companies where the CEO had a son around my age. That's something. I got a job at your grandfather's company. Worked hard to get noticed, took various certifications, and got recognized. Then your grandfather offered to make me his mistress. Mistress? Don't be so shocked. That's just how rich people are. Did you accept? No way, being a mistress is too unstable. Mistress as a profession. So, I said I wanted to date his son instead. Bold move. In exchange, I promised to take care of your grandfather for life, in any way he needed. Then he introduced me to your father. I went all out, and eventually won his heart. And that's how I became the wife of a CEO. But you said it was a big romance. It's similar, isn't it? Not at all. Matter of perspective. Your grandma didn't like me, opposed it, but your grandpa approved, so I could marry. It's like to shoot the general, first aim for the horse. I can only think it's awful. It's effort. You wouldn't understand, being born into wealth. For 30 years, until your grandpa passed away, I kept my promise to him. But before he died, he said he'd leave everything to me. However, when he passed, the inheritance went only to your grandma and your dad. It felt like I was just there for show. That seems like a fair distribution to me. But when your dad dies, everything will be mine anyway. It's just a matter of waiting a little longer. You're talking about my dad, right? Yes. You're already thinking about that? Of course. Your dad's life isn't going to last much longer. What do you mean? Ha ha ha, I didn't tell you, but your dad has terminal cancer. He was given 6 months to live. Why didn't you tell me about this? What would it change if I did? But I told Steve, though. About my own father? And to talk about it in front of him now. I had suspected something. My strength was fading. I was in pain, something felt off. But you said it was under control with medication. What kind of medication were you giving him? Painkillers. There's not much else you can do for terminal cancer. Plus, hospitalizing him and prolonging his life would just be a hassle. Better if he just passes on quickly. How can you say that? I want the inheritance. That's so low. You're going to get old too. Who do you think will take care of you then? Nobody will care for someone like that. Don't worry, I'll take good care of Ashley. That's why I can be at ease. As long as I have Steve, I'm secure. I was shocked by the sudden divorce and now by the news of my father's limited time. I couldn't forgive my mother for being so blunt about it. Enough questions, shall we? Let's go to our new house, just the two of us. A house for just the two of you? Yes, we've already prepared our new home. They left laughing, leaving behind my father and me, feeling abandoned. Dad, are you okay? Yes, I'm fine. How's your health? I knew about my condition. Then why didn't you go to the hospital sooner? A CEO can't just be hospitalized. I knew about my life expectancy. I had to prepare someone to take over the company. Me? You gave me the job because of that? Yes, I didn't trust Steve. I thought Steve, being my husband, would become the vice president and eventually take over the company. However, my father never intended to make Steve the vice president. Instead, he appointed me about 2 years ago. And now, I was almost acting as the CEO. It seemed my father's health was deteriorating, but I had no idea there was such a backstory. Well, there's not much left for me to teach you. Soon after, my father was hospitalized. Just for pain control. Then one day, I received a call from the hospital that he had passed away. The funeral was a big corporate affair. Despite the divorce, I informed my mother, who had been with him for so long, but she didn't shed a single tear. After the funeral, while I was at my family home, my mother and Steve came and prayed in front of Dad's memorial. Don't worry, I'll take the inheritance. Rest in peace. What are you talking about? What do you mean? Now that your dad has passed away, all the inheritance is mine. This house too. And he must own that condo, plus land here and there. It's all ours now. I won't give any of it to Emily. Do you really think that will happen? Of course, I'm his wife. It's the law that the wife inherits everything. That's what I've been waiting for. Dad knew all about it. Eh? What do you mean? He left a will for me. It detailed everything you've done. What have I done? It even described your relationship with Grandpa. What relationship? I was just taking care of him. Taking care. I never thought it included that kind of care. What are you saying? When you married Dad, you promised to take care of Grandpa's nightly needs. Dad knew and still didn't divorce you. He still loved you, saying it was a sickness. I can't believe you betrayed him so easily. I had no choice. It was the condition of our marriage. To maintain this lifestyle, it was nothing. Dad was too kind. But I'm glad he divorced you before he died. I never imagined my own mother would be like this. What are you talking about? You don't even understand marriage. Right, I wouldn't understand. I lost my husband before I could. Anyway, I'll be the one inheriting. There's nothing you can do about it now. We'll see about that. The lawyer will be here soon, and you'll understand. A lawyer? Why is a lawyer coming? Dad was a wealthy man. And in his will, he wrote to go through a lawyer. Really? That's unnecessary. It's necessary. With a greedy mother like you. If we don't do it properly, who knows what you might do? You might even try to take the company. Are those words you say to your mother? If you were really a mother, I wouldn't. But you've caused Dad so much pain, you're not my mother. What are you saying? You're made from my genes. That's what I regret the most. Say whatever you want. Isn't the lawyer here yet? I can't wait to get the inheritance distributed. Right, Steve? Yeah, right. We're going to be millionaires now. We'll have a great retirement, Ashley. Yes, I'm looking forward to it. Hope you get to enjoy it. Why do you have to be so mean? She's just bitter. I'm happy with Ashley, but Emily has no one. Poor thing. You're both so chummy. Wonder how long that will last. You're so rude. Soon, the lawyer arrived. Ashley, long time no see. Oh, calling me by my name? That's unusual. I've always been referred to as Mrs. You were the CEO's wife, but you've been divorced for about half a year. Oh, that's right. Haven't seen you since the divorce. Yes, the CEO left a lot of things to be settled. What he left behind? Yes, he had a lot to say. Really? What did he possibly have to say? It couldn't have been anything important. We'll see about that. Well, just get on with it, please. And let me know how much of the inheritance I'm getting. After all, it's all going to be mine, isn't it? Huh? Of course, it's obvious, right? I was his wife. A wife inheriting is a given. Even if Emily gets something, she can just renounce her inheritance. We can't do that. If Emily doesn't inherit, there will be no one left to do so. Eh? If Emily doesn't inherit, there's no one left? What do you mean? I'm here, aren't I? Ashley, you have no right to inherit. Huh? Why don't I have a right to inherit? I was his wife, I should have the right to inherit. You were his wife, in the past tense. Have you forgotten? Past tense or not, a wife is a wife. Don't talk nonsense. The lawyer sighed and took out a document from his bag. This is the CEO's will. He began reading the will. It was simple but significant. First, the CEO entrusts all his assets to his daughter, Emily. Eh? Second, the family home is either to be sold or lived in by Emily. Why? Third, the company is to be maintained by Emily as CEO for the sake of the employees. Fourth, since the divorce was caused by the former wife, Ashley, this will be considered a demand for alimony, amounting to $1 million. What's that? What do you mean? Basically, the CEO's entire estate goes to his daughter, Emily. That's absurd. How much wealth are we talking about? Roughly $1 billion, not to mention substantial stocks. I'm the wife. Isn't a wife entitled to the inheritance? Normally, half would belong to the wife, but since Ashley, you are divorced, you have no right to inherit. That's ridiculous. Please pay the alimony to Emily. That's insane. He's gone, why should I pay anything? It was claimed before his passing. You must have received a certified letter. I did receive something strange. That was probably the alimony claim. Then, what about the property division? We were divorced, so half of his property should be mine. Unfortunately, the CEO has passed away. Everything now becomes part of the inheritance, and you, Ashley, have no right to it. If you had claimed at the time of divorce, there might have been negotiations, but now it's too late. So, I'm just paying and getting nothing? That's how it is. That's too much. That's just how it is. Wait, so Ashley is penniless? Yes, that's correct. That's ridiculous. Can't something be done? No, there's nothing. Absolutely nothing? No way out? There isn't. You divorced too early. Why the hell did I bother with an old hag like you? Steve? Don't call me so casually. I'm not interested in a penniless old hag. If I knew it would be like this, I wouldn't have divorced. If Emily had inherited, I would have been a millionaire. And if Emily was CEO, I could have lived a leisurely life. Steve, calm down. How can I be calm? I'm divorcing you. But we loved each other, didn't we? Love? As if. I only married you because you said you'd inherit millions. And now you're penniless. I can't stand the thought of being with a blemish-covered old hag without makeup. That's awful. Steve said that and left, abandoning Ashley. But that wasn't the end. Wait a second, Steve. You have something too. For me? That's right, Emily and I were married. So I'll get part of the inheritance, right? What are you talking about? You must be dreaming. You too have to pay alimony. Why me? It's obvious. The divorce was because of your affair. You owe $600,000 in alimony. Why $600,000? I was a vice president at the time of the divorce. The affair with my mother damaged my reputation. Considering my age, $600,000 is actually less than it should be. You should be grateful. I don't have that kind of money. You'll have to pay. Lawyer, please proceed with the claim against Steve. Understood, CEO. CEO already? Yes, I became CEO as soon as Dad was hospitalized. The board of directors decided. I've been CEO for some time. Damn it! I couldn't even become vice president. That's because Dad never trusted you. It was obvious, really. What do you mean? He knew you were just after money, having an affair with Mom. Damn it! I won't pay. Run wherever you want, but you can't escape. You'll learn the power of a CEO. Ignoring my words, Steve stormed out of the house. Seeing this, Ashley spitefully said, "That man, he should go to hell." Mom. What? You too, go to hell. Such things to say. Mom was in tears, probably never expecting such words from her own daughter. Later, Steve apparently moved somewhere else, but when contacted, he arrogantly said to find him if we could. So, I asked the lawyer to garnish his wages. When the company asked why, I told them everything. Consequently, they fired him for being so irresponsible. He had to move out of his apartment because he couldn't pay the rent and ended up in a shabby place with drafts. He tried to find a job but was forced to live on part-time work. When I demanded the alimony in full, he said he couldn't bear it anymore and borrowed money from a consumer loan to pay it. Now he's desperate to pay off his debt. Mom kept asking to live with me, but I couldn't trust her after what she did. When I firmly demanded she pay the alimony, she, not knowing much about society, borrowed money for the alimony and living expenses and paid it all at once. Later, I heard she started working part-time, but that wouldn't be enough to pay off her debt. Now, she's working at an inn. I sold our family home and am now enjoying life in a high-rise condo near the company. I don't know what kind of encounters the future holds, but I've decided to stay away from money-hungry people.